All right, we're starting our stream. This is the conclusion of the second World Without Heroes trilogy. I'm gonna do another romance video this week. It's gonna be about what was it? I sometimes forget the title of these things. It's supposed to be about how people who think someone has never been with a woman, just like a man that they've met online or that they've met through some other means, a lot of times they try to gas this man up into believing that he's not only going to eventually get a date, but he's going to end up with the perfect partner, with the person who he rides off into the proverbial sunset with. And when you look at the declining marriage rates, and certainly other stories we can describe, like various women who have cheated on the men they're with, who have been gold diggers. When you look at these things and you mention them in the video, the point of mentioning it is not to, and I say this in the video as well, it's not to get someone to believe that they're automatically going to end up with a person who destroys them or causes them some kind of great suffering, but rather to say that you can't look at this stuff without nuance. You can't tell somebody that just because they get a partner or get a girlfriend, whatever, it's going to be sunshine and rainbows. And it's mentioned in the video about how it's crazy that I can get people online to very easily admit that there are toxic friendships. There are people that you shouldn't be friends with because of the way they treat you. But then there's like this weird thing that people have where they treat getting with a woman as this, like, it can never go wrong and it's so amazing and all great and wonderful. And it's really disturbing when you think about it. Which is why the video will be called The Deification of Romantic Relationships, because I think they need to be taken down a peg, that people need to understand there are a lot of awful consequences that have occurred for men from getting with women, to where you could actually argue that if they had stayed single, or at least not been with those particular women, which is the case I make in the video, they would have been better off in the grand scheme of things. Another one saying you're candidate for all they do.
Oh my God.
We've had these people
minute after minute. Minute after minute.
Yeah, I think it's like 5 times a day. I'll get some text messages from a number I've never seen before, and they're like, we need you to vote for this person. Will you support President Trump's new social media platform against censorship? Like, just, come on, man. James said, hey, and I said, hi. Oh, by the way, that comment from that goofy broad is in that video, the one where she's talking about being the best that you can be. Banana Merchant. So non-binary changed his name. Yeah, I knew I was going to talk about that comment somewhere, and it's going to have every dog has his day, and that comment's going to have its day during that video.
You saying stuff in the chat now.
Yeah. It's real fun to think about some of my detractors and just the stuff they like to say. Why have you made so many videos about this? Like, well, I don't do it on purpose. Like, if I think of something new and I want it to be spotlight, because I have mentioned before that people do try to like pretend all romances are so amazing and great, and just being with the woman is like, yeah, but also that if you think a topic is worth discussing as a singularity, you're not going to cram it in some 2-hour video about chicks in general because you want to pay special attention to this particular part of it. Looking forward to seeing that video. Well, it should be out this week. I've got most of the script written. I have all the screenshots, as per norm. It'll be around 10-something minutes, probably a little bit longer than that. It's just sad that people like have these like arbitrary rules in this. They just say so many weird things that don't make any sense. Like, I'm telling you, I've never had someone tell me you've made too many videos about politics or Dragon Ball. It's only talking about chicks where there's like a weird limit of videos you can do, or like some, like you can only make videos about them this year, but not next year. That's one of the good things about being someone that talks about like different things, because when you do that, you start to see the different ways that people react to stuff, and you get to like use how other people react to something to how this other group will react. Like a lot of people who disagree with me on politics, the majority of them will just say you're stupid and then like never watch you again. But a lot of the guys that disagree with me on the romance stuff, that's why I came up, like I started saying they're recurring villains, because it's one thing to insult someone and then like just, vanish, which is why most of them don't end up getting, yanked by me, because I just assume they're not going to show up again. But they'll actually sit there and keep coming back to someone that they apparently have a low opinion of. In the video, I spotlight the guy that on the World Without Heroes 2 stream, if you recall, back in November, said that I was a mediocre man because I was content with who I was, even if it didn't cause me to successfully get a girlfriend, and that I was lacking in upward mobility and was not evolving. And I thought to myself, it's really sad that this man would say that to someone they've never met before just because they're single. But it's even worse when you consider that I found out after the stream he had been subscribed to me for 2 years, and it's like, who the hell is mentally deranged enough to subscribe and according to him continuously watch someone that they think so lowly of? And you have to excuse me. There's I think a lawnmower outside.
And that's loud.
Yeah, very. Let me close the.
Technical difficulties. There we go.
A little bit better.
You're right.
What'd you say?
You're right.
Oh well. Thanks for demonetizing my stream. Good job. That's one because that's one of the terms they don't like. I remember I had this one guy who's like, I noticed there are certain words you won't use that when people write them, you won't read. It's like, yeah, because I'm trying not to get demonetized. I don't have a Patreon with 100 people. Usually nobody donates. So the only way I can really get something off of here is by monetizing a stream, which is the thing that will get the most views, for like out of my content anyway, aside from like an edited romance video. And usually those get demonetized anyway. I got to a point with those where I just became so tired of, and again, I don't make this stuff to get paid, but it's really frustrating when you get like so little compensation for this stuff. What? Oh, give me a second. Hello? Back to this. But yeah, I was saying that it's really irritating that, you don't try to like do this for a financial incentive. And then like the stuff you get in response is just so, it goes with that thing of the juice is not worth the squeeze. Like, I even said I'm very content with if I get like 200 views, because that still is really good for, what I usually get. But it sucks that the like little tiny coin try to get off of this stuff. Can't even get that. I mean, I already proved I'm not doing this for money. That's why when I got demonetized for, I think it was like 2 or 3 months, I was still putting up stuff every day because it didn't matter. It's just another headache. No, the comment where the guy said you have bad hair and he thinks you're gay and you're awkward, or I have that in the why being a straight man is a bad video. That's going to take a little bit longer because I'm trying to really iron that one out. But both of those comments, right? Those, because like most of the comments for that video, I don't think were that good, but they were like, tolerable. Those 2 comments are going to get lampooned because I think they're very ridiculous. I think they're insane. And it sucks because you can look at the woman's comment and say, okay, well, she wasn't trying to be evil. She was giving what she thought was good advice, even though no one asked her to give it. And you can like assume good faith. You can say, hey, you know what? This person wrote something that I think is ridiculous, but it's like not villainous. The other guy's comment was purely antagonistic. He, that's why I said they sound like villains and they act like them too. What would I look like if I went to a woman's video and she was talking about why she never had a boyfriend and I said, you're awkward and you have bad hair and you're probably a lesbian? you would say, well, that's really nasty to write to somebody just because they've never, yes, but like people do this to men on here, and then you're just supposed to put up with it.
And you don't have proof that that's been working.
Right, but I'm saying that they make like a lot of nasty comments and like gross stuff about you just for the sake of confirming their own bias. Just like I had people on here telling me, take off those glasses. And I'm like, imagine how.
Doesn't that help you see?
Yes, but I want you to think about this. They have no way of proving that I wear these outside of when I'm reading or doing a stream. I could go and talk to 90 chicks and have these in my pocket, and they would never know about that. So they have to assume I always have these on, even when I'm talking to women on a computer who wouldn't be able to see what I'm wearing anyway because we're typing things to each other. We're talking on the cell phone. You see why it's dumb? No, people really want to, confirm their own biases. It's sad. It's real ridiculous. And it does get in the way of having a productive dialogue about this stuff. The person that made that comment didn't even watch the video because I've explained I've had different haircuts in the past. Right, well, see, that's why the hair thing always bothered me, because when someone gets rejected over a, how do I explain this? Let's pretend, James is like early 20s, right? Let's pretend he's been getting rejected since he was 12 or 13, right? We can infer that he does not act the same way as a young adult as he did when he was a teenager. We can infer that because we know hair grows and, sometimes we cut it, right? Mm-hmm. That he's had different hairstyles. So when people do this thing about, oh, your hair is this, or they're trying to make something all encompassing that is almost impossible to be so because of the length of time for which this has occurred. Just like with the broad that said that I didn't sound like someone that just wanted a date and then admitted that she believed I, as an adult, acted differently than I did when I was 13 when I got rejected for the first time. And I said, well, if you believe that I act differently from how I was as a teenager, you can infer that I had different motivations, such as actually just wanting a date as a kid, and that in spite of whatever way I acted, it didn't make a difference in the results I got from abroad. But see, it's part of that same thing of they try to make whatever they think of you currently all encompassing, like you've had that same exact hairstyle at that same exact length for 10 years, even though we know that is almost impossible to, guarantee at all with what information we have on you. You don't have enough different color hair dye. Yeah, that's why I said that the people, it's funny because they'll accuse you of like being over analytical if you just sit here and think about this stuff. But if you look at the things they write in my comment section, they're doing the exact thing they accuse me of. They're analyzing my appearance in every which way. I had people talking about, you wore this shirt, you wore this, you wore that. And it's like, you can't do stuff such as that and then say, this person is analyzing things too, because you're doing the exact thing you're accusing me of. And I've never seen someone, at all the men I've spoken to and been like, I guess, friends with, who said, yeah, I think this woman is hot, but I'm going to reject her because I don't like that shirt she was wearing. Clothes are a very tiny part of someone's attraction to another person. And we know that's true because we've seen chicks that pose naked and men find them attractive when they're not wearing anything. And when they have clothes on, they find them attractive. So it's, it's weird. Just like with the glasses thing, I've never seen someone say, I don't find this woman attractive because she wears spectacles. Because remember, the rest of her appearance is still there. She does the same face that you can still see, same hair. It's weird. They really think I'm Superman.
Only one change, and then they just hate
you. It's magic. Yeah. That you're just going to be like, all these chicks going, oh my God, look at him without his glasses. I need to go after him. That's why I said they really think I'm Superman, because in the Superman comics, his glasses hide his appearance. They deceive people into thinking he looks like someone else. they really think when I put these on, it's like Clark Kent, like it's a different appearance that is just projected to the world. So I said this romance stuff is a comic book. I want to do a video like that, actually, like just breaking down all the parallels between comic books and the romance saga. We have a status quo that never changes, where like a group of men, a whole bunch of men rather, try to get a woman, at various points, and the chick sometimes says she likes them, sometimes talks to them for a few days or a few weeks, but you get the same result. We have men that then blame you for that, and this cycle repeats itself forever, just like a comic book. That status quo never changes. We have recurring villains. We have people that like are antagonistic to you. That again, a normal person would be like, I don't want to be anywhere near you, and then just leave. But they keep showing up over and over. We have crossovers because there are people you've never seen before in their own little world that show up and pop up, even though you didn't want them to. What else do we have? Plot twist where like, they're like, oh, this woman's gonna ask you on the date because she's saying that you mean so much to her and she likes you so much, blah, blah, blah. And then, oh no, she didn't ask you on the date. She rejected you. The woman that said she wants to go on a date with you just rejected. Like, what?
No, you're wrong.
No, you see how it's a plot twist? You're led to believe she's gonna go on a date because all this stuff she said. Mm-hmm. I never thought I would live to see the day a woman would ask me out and then like you still end up getting rejected. That is insane. And I'm never. That's going to be another one of these things. I don't care if 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years passes. I'll mention that forever, because that is a level of stupidity and indecisiveness that I just. It's almost, again, it's comical. It's like something a writer would put down on paper. I should have screenshotted where she said you're not doing anything wrong, just like as an extra slap in the face to people that try to blame me for everything. Here's the woman saying I'm not doing everything wrong. Anything wrong is people on the computer telling me I'm doing everything wrong. No, in that video on what's it called, on the deification video, I'm actually going to break one of my rules. I usually don't use celebrity or like examples that are not myself, even though I could, because I like to these are about me. It's my video, but I'm going to break my rule. I'm going to mention a famous case where a woman was with a guy for 2 years, and then like her relationship with him messed up his views on his religion, and he did that to himself because he chose to be with someone in this way that went against his religion. And then when he started to like distance himself from her, she starts slashing his tires, comes in his house through a doggy door. Doggy doors, right? Where the dog. And then after he invites another woman to go with him to some, I think it's a business retreat or event, she comes over his house and they're like taking pictures, and the pictures have the time and date stamped on them. And in a span of 2 minutes, she goes from taking pictures of him in the shower to stabbing him over 20 times and shooting him in the head.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Golly.
But I'm not mentioning that case to mock that man or to, use it for my own motives. I'm simply saying that something like that needs to be brought up when you have a generation of people, some young, some old, who believe in this idea of the magic woman. Like I was going to mention that I know a guy who said he knows a guy, and I don't like, again, a friend of a friend type of story, who said that he believes being with the woman expands your horizon. Oh yeah, James, it was insane. Like within 2 minutes of taking his picture, we saw that last picture of him alive in the shower with his face, just over and over again, like a damn animal, and to someone that she claimed to love, to someone that apparently, according to her, she was thinking of marrying. But like I said, if he had never gotten around that woman, he would still be alive, because no other woman he dated did anything insane like that ever. And we're bringing that story up in the video as a way to highlight that the act of getting with the woman does not always end up with a favorable result for you. And we're going to mention how when you have a guy who tells me that because you're single, you're not evolving and you're lacking in upward mobility, what is upward about having to take a dirt nap because a woman that you dated decided to act like an animal? How is it evolving to get murdered by your partner? And of course, if the clown was here today, he would probably say, "Oh well, I didn't mean to." It's like, yeah, but when you try to say that someone's quality as a person is subpar or lesser than simply because they are single, you are insinuating that every person who ends up who has a relationship, romantic relationship, is automatically better off when that's not the case. Because whether you want to admit it or not, if James stays single, if I stay single, we're not going to get stabbed up in the bathtub or in the shower by a woman that we dated, because there's no romantic trash relating to that person to get involved with in that way that is occurring. Oh, by the way, James, after he died, she tried to say he was a child predator. And then it made her look even more insane, because why would you date someone that you think is trying to touch kids? And why would they spend time with you if they're into kids? So after destroying this man, physically, right? She tries to destroy his reputation posthumously when he can no longer defend himself. And it just makes her look like more like trash. I actually didn't write that part into the video. I might go back and edit that in there. Oh, by the way, let me give you an update on another broad, because we need to establish this. All right. So in the video, I mentioned the dingbat with the baby, which is an individual I've known almost my entire life that got with a guy. And this relationship is very significant to me because it's the longest lasting one I've seen between two people my age. That's weird, and it does make her look bad because she was dating a child. And that's my point, that she tries to slander his reputation to justify, it is supposedly, it's BS, because again, actual predators of children are not going to go around beating on a woman. They're going to just go and do things to kids. And she had no evidence of him doing this to any child at any point. And like I said, it makes her look even more insane, because why would you date someone for 2 years that's into kids? So the dingbat with the baby is significant because she's the person, along with the guy that she's with, who's had the longest lasting relationship of two people my age. And I've talked about its origins. I've talked about how he had to pay for her storage unit after she got kicked out of her home for talking trash to her landlord. That while he was doing this, she would curse him out over the phone and cheated on him, put him in jail. They have a kid they can't afford. But we have a new chapter, another intricate plot. A new entry. This is brand new. This happened this year. So the guy started working some job where, and I might have this detail off, but I certainly didn't get the last part of this off. He every month at least he gets paid $1,600. Again, that's assuming it's every month. It might be every 2 weeks. One of those ways. But the place pays him. They follow their compliance. And he starts noticing there's $600 missing every time these people supposedly give me the $1,600. So they're supposed to pay him $1,600, and every month $600 is missing. That's like a good 20, 30% that just is not there. So he ends up finding out that the only other person who has access to his account is the dingbat with the baby. So guess who was stealing $600 from him every month or every 2 weeks, depending on how often these people give him this money? The dingbat with the baby.
She was doing that?
Mm-hmm. And this is brand new. This happened this year. But again, when you have a clown like the guy that was on the second installment of these streams who says, you're not evolving if you're not with a woman, and you also are lacking in upward mobility. How in the hell is it an evolution to be with a woman who steals your hard-earned money out of your bank account over and over again? What kind of evolution is taking place when your partner cheats on you while you pay for her trash that you're only paying for because she ran her mouth to a person who had more control over her life than she realized before she cursed him out? I can only stay for a little while. I'm recording today. All right, Dio. Bye. Hey, what people do, like, if you want to show up, but don't prematurely announce. I won't be here for that long. It's like, all right. No, it's really and I keep explaining this. I don't bring this person up to try to get people to believe if you get with a woman, she's going to do all these different evil things to you. No, I'm simply saying that when you have these clowns online that try to tell you about a woman expanding your horizons and you have to pay to play to get the awards, the rewards of being with what is rewarding about this? Because remember, if this guy was single, well, hell, if he had been single if he had never dated this broad, he would never have paid God knows how many hundreds or thousands of dollars for her storage unit. He would have never had a kid that he can't afford, or at least is struggling to afford, and he would have never had $600 removed out of his $1,600 every month or every 2 weeks from his job by this same person that's been destroying him for the last 5 or 6 years. And I even told my best friend about this last night. We were talking. I said, would you really want to be with someone who does that to you? He said no. There are a lot of merits to being single. And I sometimes have to look at the relationship between those two to remind myself, but it all goes back to the same thing. Men are set up to fail. When you're told to do all these things to impress the woman, when you're told that you have to look this way, act this way, earn this, own that, and all she has to do is have that, it's a completely uneven system that's going to result in her getting the quote unquote rewards while you get hung. I certainly would not know, even if she was the only chick on the planet. Oh, we brought that up last night. We said the way these people act, you would think chicks are an endangered species. Like, in the United States, there are more women than men, but for some reason, I'm seeing 30 guys talking to one broad on the computer. And I already told you about the chick who had her number on Reddit. No one saw what she looked like. All they knew was an age, a location, and a phone number. And she had not 1, not 5, not 10, not 30, over 50 men message her without even knowing what she looked like. What is your solution to these issues in society? Oh, I already gave some solutions earlier. People don't like them. I know James was trying to push back on them. I said, it brings me no joy to say that someone should pay a hooker to go on a date or to, do the other stuff. But it's like, wouldn't you rather get something for a price than sit here and get screwed? Like, I know for a fact if I went and did something with a hooker and paid for it, and that was like the only time we ever spoke, at least I don't have to worry about her stealing $600 from me every month. Yep, sounds about right. I really can never comprehend how that's possible. And like I said, Megumi, if you just sit there and think about this stuff, it's all the more disturbing because on my video, I have the comments from the clowns that are talking about the women you approach are probably out of your league. They don't know what these women look like. And it's part of that same position where it's like something about being a female just attracts so much male attention for no reason. They don't like again. If this was Elizabeth Olsen or Scarlett Johansson or Megan Fox, you know, some like big time actress, I would have no problem accepting that they have what is it, dozens of men, hundreds, thousands of men, but it's a random broad that they didn't even see what she looked like. Just put female, an age, and a phone number, and it's enough guys for what is that, 10 basketball teams, if not more. Like that's insane. I still think there are no solution to these problems, LOL. But yeah, don't have to worry about someone stealing your money. No, James, listen. If you've seen the gross stuff that's written about men who can't get with the woman. They try to pretend the women are nuns, and that all the men who can't get with the broad have these horrible, terrible, awful, trash personalities, which doesn't make any sense, because if that were true, you wouldn't have chicks that talk to you for weeks and months and then try to keep you as a friend after rejecting you. But you know, more to the point, when someone tells you that you have to do all this stuff for a woman, right? They're telling you that you have to do all this stuff to maybe get a date, to maybe get screwed, and you can get those things by paying a price in certain areas. And I just don't see how it's more productive, especially if you keep having the same thing happen over and over again, to keep talking to these chicks that don't have an interest in fulfilling what you would like to see done, over, you know, someone that will do it if you pay them a price. Speaking too much truth on this. I think that's really funny. You just want to get with someone to get them in the mattress. Like, but why would, if that's true, why would I sit here and talk to them for months? Wouldn't I just go and pay a hooker? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know. Told you all the anti-romance commentary, that like the opposition to my view is just built on hypocrisy and saying things that don't even like add up or make sense. Like, if all the men that were single had such bad personalities and weren't likable and all the rest of that garbage, why do you have these chicks that will talk to you for weeks and months, and then after rejecting you still try to get you to talk to them if your personality is so bad and they want to get away from you and you're so unbearable to be around? No one can ever explain that. And again, if you're such a unique piece of trash for not being able to get with someone, why are there whole groups dedicated to discussing this topic? Still can't explain that either. So I said, when I did the first video on this, I really thought people would act like adults, and they might write stuff I don't like, but they would at least say things that made sense and were well thought out. It's just a bunch of BS. Like, I still would never consider myself someone that is a genius or brilliant, but the stuff they're writing makes me feel like Einstein, because it lacks any kind of logic when held up under scrutiny. And like I said, people mistake having good grammar for saying something profound that is actually, you know, getting to the bottom of something. I see James decided to leave. He got mad.
What?
I don't know. That's what people do sometimes. You say something, they just get angry and buzz off.
Like usual.
Yeah. Don't say it. Don't say it. Yeah, it's not the one we expected.
Oh my God.
They can never articulate why these groups exist when they keep saying, "Oh, it's not them, it's you." Well, no, it's not them. It's all of us. Like, it's not the chicks that deny every damn body. It's the whole loads and loads of men that are the problem. But I told you, there. Like, I truly believe this. I could get stabbed by a woman, and if I just come and make a video about it, and I'm like showing where I got cut, people on here would defend her. They would say, "Oh, you probably looked at her the wrong way," and you might say that that's like a really morbid opinion to have of people's position on chicks. But if you consider how much like bending over they do just to not criticize them, it's in line with their way of thinking. Like if I have a woman who asks me to go on a date and then she rejects me after I say yes, I'll go on a date with you, and then if your rebuttal is to try to say I somehow am at fault for that, I would completely believe they would do that. They would say, oh, you probably were looking at her the wrong way. Yeah, maybe a bad personality. You have such a bad personality that all of these chicks are trying to speak to you even after they reject you. Told you if I want to, I can make a whole video with screenshots of all the different times a broad rejected me and it was like, hey, can we still be friends? That's been going on for the last 6 years. I kid you not. Dude, I actually imagined this before that if I agreed to be friends with every broad that rejected me, like that friend that tried to like friends with me, I said, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'd be talking to like 15 different chicks. That's like their go-to thing. It's really insane. But if your personality is so bad and weird, why do they speak to you for months and weeks? Why do they sit like I have screenshots of them saying, I enjoy talking to you. You're one of my favorite people on this website. All right, hold on. I have about 4 songs made. Megumi, imagine they actually do that. They're like, we know you got stabbed by this lady, and she probably wasn't, she probably was feeling pretty bad, and you must have said something to her, and you have to understand that not everyone can control their violent urges, and she's a young lady, and she's having a hard time. COVID's been such a bad issue, and it's affected a lot of people.
All these freaking excuses.
Yes. I tell you, they'll make more excuses for a grown woman than they will a little kid. That's why this one guy said that people treat women like children. Like even actually, they coddle them even more than kids. Like kids will get in trouble when they do something wrong. I just think it's really sad that. But again, this is not men versus women. This is lies versus people. The more you think about it, the more it just becomes even more disturbing. Let me open this up again. It's getting kind of hot. I don't have to worry about that guy playing leaf blower outside. Oh, I am having a little bit of a stomach ache, so we might have to end this after an hour because while I would like to go for an hour and a half, my stomach is actually kind of hurting. But I'll try to stick it out for another 20 minutes. Well, that's why I said that a lot of people don't give this stuff thought. That's why you can have someone who, look at a guy who's been rejected over and over and over again for 10 years, say, oh, don't worry, next year, magic woman will show up. And again, it's not even just that they say, I think a woman will eventually want to go on a date with you. It's, oh, you'll meet the right one, as that woman wrote on James's video. It's like, what are you talking about? I've never heard that before. This man gets rejected year after year, and then the perfect quote unquote the right one, so the perfect woman shows up that he just thinks is so beautiful and she likes him for who he is and she doesn't try to cheat on him or take his money or become more famous off of him. That's a part I left out of the video, that you have a lot of chicks that will get with the man for the purpose of like making themselves more famous. Like that's what Little Kim did to Biggie, and it worked. That's what what's her name, Karrueche Tran, did to Chris Brown. Yeah, I saw that goofy comment. Well, you might not have. I don't know if you saw his video, because the only reason I'm like casting doubt on you is because a lot of people write weird stuff like that. In the video, Triple L has a cameo where I go back to her message about at some point you'll notice a different caliber of chick will start approaching you. And I was laughing at this comment because most women do not approach men they find attractive. Like there are chicks that will rapidly admit, oh, this man is cute or this man is hot. Are you gonna go talk to him? Oh no, I don't want him to reject me. I'm scared and I'm a coward. And they're able to compensate for it by having men approach them, so they get to keep their cowardice. But it was funny to like read that comment from 2 years ago and know now for a fact that even if a woman asks you on a date and approaches you, she can still screw it up. She can still talk herself out of wanting to do it. Only got one track on there working on the tape at the moment. A different caliber of chick will start approaching you, and then after they approach you, they're gonna, and you reciprocate, they're gonna be like, nah, I thought I was interested, but I'm not. I just got really confused. Yeah, I like this video. I had to comment and saw that. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's him and VBS that like would post stuff on my channel, and they made like romance content of their own. Except VBS was smarter than me because he hid his face, so nobody had to. He didn't have men analyzing his appearance every which way. And when he meets the one, what happens next? You know what kills me, Brandon? That people really act like, because again, just getting a woman to go on a date, right? That doesn't guarantee she'll go on a second one. It doesn't guarantee she wants to be your girlfriend. It doesn't guarantee she wants to be married. I know a lot of people who went on one date with someone and said, "No, we're not doing it again. It was fun, but I'm just not like interested in what you have to offer." So it's like really weird to see them sit here and like try to normalize making that first step, which is going on a date, be this complicated process, and then pretend like everything after that is just so simple. Because I've seen couples argue all the time. I can tell you the story of one couple. They argued, and the wife said she was going to divorce the man, and then he went and killed her and both of their kids, and then blew up the house. We talked about that, I think, last month for the 20th anniversary. I love happily ever after. Live happily ever after. You ride off into the sunset. I just got really confused. The ultimate Trump or joke card to play and just retract everything they said to the person they screwed over. Yeah, you can use that as an excuse for anything. I thought it was okay to throw this person off a building, but it wasn't. I just got really confused. It's like, how does being confused make you like you send this person a picture of yourself without them asking for it. You ask them on a date and you give them your phone number without them asking for it. She's really lucky I can't find a way to like block out her name and then like her avatar on it. Because if I could, I would scroll down and show you all. I'll read that whole goddamn section of messages just to prove that like I may have been the one that started speaking to her, because I told you when I'm on Instagram, these other websites, I just talk to people casually in private messages like, hey, how you doing? Have a good weekend. But all that romantic crap started from her. I don't have any thoughts on him. I've never seen that person's videos. His name gets mentioned over and over again like he's Thanos or Darkseid or some other higher deity. But I don't watch any of those other romance people. My romance people are me. I'm the only one I check out. It's just, man, I can never understand these idiots. I can't understand them either. And like I said, I don't see what good comes out of talking to a bunch of people who deny you what you would like, just over and over again, like this repetitious thing of people saying they're interested. These women that are like, will talk to and say, oh, you're this and you're that, and then you try to do something romantic with them, and it keeps like going nowhere. And it's like, it's so ironic to watch the chicks like gas you up, say all this stuff about how great your personality is. And then you come on YouTube and people are telling you you're a piece of trash. But if you're a piece of trash, why did this woman tell you otherwise? That woman just wanted to talk to you. She was just into that. Oh, well, yeah, she was. I mentioned in the video, she's I don't even know. She's supposed to be bi, but then apparently she realized that she was just a straight lesbian. But then like Why would someone who's just a lesbian ask a man out? Oh, definitely attention seekers. They waste a lot of people's time. That's what they do. Women love attention and validation. That's it. Right, but it's really disturbing that they have all of these different men that they can do that stuff with, and then they try to like seriously, I could make a whole video, probably it wouldn't be that long, but I can do a video showing at least 4 different chicks that ask me for a picture of myself. Again, no romantic conversation at all. They just ask you for, they're like, oh, let me see what you look like. Including one that had a boyfriend. And like I said, if I did that, if I was with a woman and then you caught me on the computer on, whatever website going, hello, woman, I'm talking to about movies. Can you send me a photo of yourself? That would look weird. People would say, why do you need to see a picture of this lady if you're with someone? Why is that relevant to you having a discussion with this person? But for some reason, like that's why I said, when men do things with chicks, it's accused or assumed that you're trying to get with them. But if women do things with men, they're like able to get away with this idea of, oh yeah, she's just doing this to be friendly. It's all platonic. It's totally normal to ask people for photos of themselves out of nowhere. I have never done that. Are you only interested in black women? That's my preference, and I was called racist for having one, even though everybody has a preference. Like white people date white people, Hispanic people date Hispanic people. Obviously, they don't always date some of their own race, but they date people of their own ethnicity. But yeah, I'm open to all races. It's first come, first served. The only chick I ever dated was Hispanic. So, but again, that wasn't because that's my preference. That was just who was willing to do it. So, I go anyway. We're open to all ethnicities. Because the pickings are too small to be picky over what somebody looks like, over at least as far as their ethnicity is concerned. Hell, most of the chicks I approached in person were black. So I still can't wait to tell the story of that one from that school that acted insane. Good luck if you can. Date outside of the group, buddy. Why do they keep bringing this man up? This Kevin person, like this is the 3rd time I've seen him brought up in one of my streams. Twice in the same stream. Damn, got here late. It's fine, Euro. You can just replay it when it's done. I think I might get off here in a few minutes because my stomach is aching. But I do want to try to go for an hour. And we're at 48, so we're at the home stretch.
It's been 48 minutes.
Yeah.
How?
Oh, and you're speaking, time moves quickly. Let's not forget how the majority of guys have a built-in defense mechanism for all women. And I do mean all women. Like when you write that, you do mean all of them, because people, like if you really sit there and look at some of the comments people have written to me, they defend them in ways that don't even make sense. Like you'll sit here and you'll describe, oh yeah, there was one I spoke to, and then we talked for some months, and then she'd said that she wasn't interested, and I was really despondent by this. Your personality sucks. That's why this woman spoke to you for months, because you have a bad personality and she's a sadist and she likes talking to men that she apparently doesn't like. And then remember, let's not forget, you probably approach in a weird way. Even though we've never seen me approach a single broad ever on this site. And it must not be too damn weird if they're going to sit there and talk to me for weeks and months.
And then leave you alone for how long?
Yeah, but a lot of times I have to end it. I have to like block them and get rid of them because they won't leave me alone. Yeah, all women are out of your league, according to people on the computer. And that's the part that I find really depressing, because even like I only ever show pictures of chicks I like to like men I know in real life, and all of us have different disagreements on who's attractive and who isn't. So like to see people men on the computer be like, oh yeah, all of these women are so amazingly beautiful, and you're just this little peon that. What? Just like the guy that said, go for average chicks with the. What the hell does that even mean? Because again, we know that as long as the person has this, you're beneath them. He can get with an African chick. No, that triangle, man, it makes everybody. They really treat you like you're a woman's slave is just the most disturbing part of this. Like everything you do has to be in service of her. You have to accept her for who she is because all the chicks are perfect in their own way, but you have to transform like Optimus. And it's just really not productive. And again, I don't really want to talk to people who have that idea because, like I said, there are a lot of instances that I can point to of men that got with a woman and were worse off for it. So to see them act like getting with them is this great, amazing thing every time, and it's just so disturbing. But again, like I love the fact that so many of my detractors will say something along the lines of, "You probably do this. The women probably look this way," and that's them like casting doubts on your recollection or like creating fan fiction to explain why the situation ended up the way it is. And I said, if we take their logic and turn it on them, we should not believe anything that comes out of their mouths because while I show at least screenshots in those edited videos, they've never shown any proof of anything they claim about themselves. Not a single man that has talked trash about me in my comment section has ever shown proof that they have a girlfriend or a wife. Like I said, if I wanted to, I can make an account right now called, I don't know, Franklin Pierce. And I could say, me and my girlfriend are talking and are laughing at you nerds on it, but it still wouldn't be proof. And again, I don't even like doing it because I would say, why would this person just claim to be? But this is what they do. They want to not believe you or take you at your word, while also, wanting to be taken at theirs. Like you're supposed to believe them while they refuse to believe you. Just like the guy that called me mediocre for being single, he didn't prove he was with a woman. Over there analyzing my appearance while you hide behind a picture of a football player. At least I'm out and open. I don't need to hide behind any photos. And again, I wouldn't even say something like that if they weren't talking trash. And that's like the thing that creeps me out the most. Like if I came on here and said, I'm so handsome, these chicks are idiots, like then I would understand where people would talk negatively about my appearance because I would have brought it on myself. But all of my commentary is almost exclusively dedicated to discussing weird, abnormal, fraudulent behavior by chicks. And the response to that is, you're ugly.
Jesus.
By other men who ironically enough will accuse you of being gay as they talk about the appearance of another man. I think you should stay on for a bit. A lot of people are coming in. Well, again, I have this. Like, I'm not making that up. I do have a stomach ache, but whatever. Forget your health. We got 2 more people than usual, so you have to show up and
stay on.
Yeah, longer. White Knights.
Hmm?
That's what this guy said. He called them White Knights.
White armor?
No, it's like people that like just rush to defend someone else. Let me see what Banana Merchant said. It's better to be your authentic self and have a few people think you're unattractive rather than constantly goading for approval from others. And like I said, the way these guys talk about chicks, you would think they're an endangered species. You would like when someone tells you that just to get a date with just a woman, right? Go to the gym to enough to where you get muscles because it's proven that most people who exercise do not have some bodybuilder physique. If you're short, stretch yourself out to make yourself look bigger. Become a millionaire, have status, or become famous. Do all these different things just so that this one random woman who's no one has ever heard of more often than not, who doesn't own anything other than this that's of any worth or value, so that this one woman might maybe go on a date with you. They really act like there's only 2 or 3 chicks in the whole world. Every single woman have a white knight. Yeah. Alfonso says simping doesn't get you laid. Well, again, I don't. There are cases where I've defended chicks. Like I've defended some in like private conversation. Or like, hey, this person did a good job as an actor, but sitting there like aggressively attacking people over broads that no one ever heard of, just no. No, right? Romance is actually supposed to be something that you enjoy. Like you meet a person and then the two of you spend time together and do things together and actually like the presence and company of that other person. It's not supposed to be an excuse for men to attack and harass another man simply because he says he doesn't want to talk to chicks anymore, which is not illegal, by the way. I know a lot of men on the computer like to act like that's the case, but you can do that if you want to. Doesn't guarantee you them going on a date with you. Yeah, and like I said, I'd rather have no guarantee from like why go to this extraneous effort for something that's not guaranteed. Like imagine how much it would suck to like do the bodybuilder stuff and become a celebrity and then like still keep getting rejected. But I do like that they were that like you have to, and it's insane because it's like no one's ever heard of most of these chicks. Maybe you should change your approach, less online and more in person. Yeah, that's just as fruitless too. I remember the one time I went to this mall and I went up to this woman after like seeing her. I was like, "Oh, I want to say something to you. I want to speak to you," and then she just walked away. Or that one time I went to another mall and I asked this woman for her phone number. I told this story before. I asked her for her phone number, and then she gave me her Facebook account, which I assumed was like a substitute, and you would speak to her on there. And then she says, "Oh, I am looking to go to school and work. I don't have time to text you. Sorry." I'm like, what the hell was the point of giving me your? It's just as fruitless. The thing is, those things take time and dedication. It doesn't happen overnight. Doing all that stuff for a chance of getting with the chick, I'm good. But it's not even getting with the chick. It's getting a date. Because remember, they can go on this date and say, "Hey, look, it was okay, but I'm not interested. So no, thank you." So you have to spend months or years of like, so, quote unquote, improving yourself so that you might spend 1 hour or 2 hours with the broad once. What was that phrase we like to use? The juice is not worth the squeeze. And like I said, if I came on here and said, if a woman wants to go on a date with me, the great Justin, she's going to have to exercise and have muscles and a physique and be famous and have status and have a bunch of money, I'd look like a lunatic. People would.
Like Vince.
Huh?
You sounded like Vince.
Oh, McMahon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I'd look insane. But again, that's not because let's go how I explain it. It would look insane because it is insane for like one random person that no one's ever heard of to require all those amount of tasks and side quests to try appealing to. I'm gonna make that my character from now and be like, if you want to comment on my stream, you must donate or get lost. Just have the biggest ego for like no reason. like I really accomplished something by just doing a stream that 10 people came to. Usually you meet women through friends or family, they feel more secure because you are pre-approved. Oh, that matchmaker crap. I mean, look, I haven't personally met someone that did that. Like my grandparents met through she worked at some diner and he came in there one day. My parents met because she came in some building and then he showed up. He was working there. Like I've never seen, like I don't personally know a long-lasting couple or just any couple that was like remotely successful and actually got together that met, from, oh, this is a friend of a friend. I haven't seen it personally. So pre-approved to be friends though. And then it's even worse because you can't cut the person out. You got to keep seeing them because they're connected to somebody else, which makes it even more awkward. It's like if you dated your coworker, when you stop dating them, now you have to keep seeing them at work every day or like every week. I'm just not going to waste my life trying to please everyone. If a few people think you're a hoe for it, then so be it. Well, that's my point. Are those few people paying your bills? Are they taking care of you? Like every time I see a relationship between a man and a woman, again, like out of these like younger people, 20, 30, 40, it's always the guy taking care of the broad. Like that's why I said they're uneven. It's just a man like you. It's like you turn into her dad for like no reason. Just her presence is supposed to require you to shell out excesses of money and get cheated on and be okay with it and all the rest of this stuff. I was referring to the bodybuilding, going to gym, becoming a famous, successful person that many people like to preach in order to be selected for a chance of getting a date. Yeah, and then when you say I only want to talk to someone who is also a bodybuilder, your standards are too high. But again, men are set up to fail because when you have standards that are actually something that's in line with what you have, it's too much. Just like if I came on here and said I only want to date a woman who at least has a high school diploma. I have one, so like I meet my own standard if that's the only criteria. But they'd be like, there are a lot of women that have dropped out of high school that are good people, and you're treated because again, when you have a standard, you're the demon. They're putting a prologue on top of a prologue. We went from go on a date to get to know somebody to let's get to know each other for excess for weeks or months to maybe go on a date. They the prologue. Imagine if books had like instead of like a prologue or a chapter 0, it's like chapter -1, -2, -3, -4. That's literally what they've done to dating. They made that first step have a bunch of steps before it. And then they don't even complete their own first step because like if someone said, "Can we talk for 2 weeks and then we go on a date?" No BS. We'll just talk for 2 weeks. We'll go on a date. We live in the same state. I'll pick you up. I would do that. I would like try to meet because again, I am giving the person the benefit of the doubt so that if they screw it up, I can say, well, look, I did what they told me to do. In that case, they actually do what they said they'll do. Like that example, they actually would meet their own standard. But like they want you to, some of these chicks want you to talk to them for months just to sit down somewhere. Like it's crazy. A prologue on top of a prologue. We're gonna have a romance book. Chapter 0 is preceded by chapters -1 through -100. Somebody should make that like a movie. Like it took 10 years to get a date or something. Oh my god. I told you that one broad that said you're too good for me, and then like a few weeks later she reneged. That will always have a lasting impact on me because I saw the just complete foolishness at that. I thought I did, and then this thing 2 weeks ago happened. And like I said, it sucks even more because all the romantic stuff is initiated by this broad. Just to like you get the same result from one who asked you on a date as you would get from one that you asked out that didn't like you back. Gonna find the one. I don't even know what that means. It's on the Kelvin scale. Oh, okay, yeah, you're going with the like negative number thing. No, this chick stuff will drive any rational man insane because they don't even they just do things that don't make any sense, and then they have all these guys on the computer that are like, we'll defend them until the end of time. They just one Spider-Man story called The Ends of the Earth. They'll defend them until the ends of the earth. Woman, I'll defend you to the ends of the earth. You remember from the alien costume 3-parter where he's chasing Shocker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what that's based off of.
No, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's sad. There is a woman for everyone. You just have to keep looking. Yeah. I mean, I would be very surprised if that's actually true because there are more men than women, like a worldwide. And then also, if there's a woman for everyone, why are 30 or 40 or 50 men talking to the same broad? The way these people act, I feel like a protagonist in an anime, and they act like villains. Like when you have people who tell you that you're going to blow up a building or shoot up somewhere just because they disagree with you on this topic, but then the actual villainy is harassing someone and like saying all this nasty stuff to them. They act like villains. They because there are villains that think they're the good guy, so that's what they are. They're trying to accuse you of doing something sinister, in the future, because apparently everyone is that so raven and can see in what's going to occur. But that's what they do. They're the ones who are actually doing screwed up stuff to people. Maybe in a different country. I'd like to believe that, but I honestly just can't. I don't know what these people think is going to happen. There's going to be this magic year where all these guys that couldn't get abroad to go on a date, they're just going to find these random women just come out of the sky. You get a bimbo, you get a bimbo, you get a bimbo, you get a bimbo.
Right.
No, it's from that you get a car, you get a. You're,
Oh.
Not even in a different. And I always hate it when people say to get your passport. So let me get this straight. You're going to go to a country you've never been to. I guess maybe go to some stores, the clubs, whatever. And then there's going to be some broad there who because you're not moving to this country, you're just visiting there, is going to fall so much in love with you that she's going to let you live with her, or she's going to come back to the United States with you. Like, what? You see what I said? It's like a fairy tale. Like, it doesn't, when you sit there and actually think about this, it doesn't make sense. Yes, this magic age where it's your time to get a woman. It took longer for me to get a woman to go on a date than it took Black Widow to get a movie. Hell, they're gonna find One Piece before we get abroad to just stop doing this stupid stuff.
Hmm.
Weren't talking to a woman who was in a different country. Oh, wait, let me read what James wrote. This is funny. Hey, Justin, weren't you talking to a woman who was in a different country and she rejected you? Yeah, imagine someone agreeing to marry you, and then a few days later, she's like, nah, I'm good. And then she's like, well, maybe I'll change my mind. Then you talk to her for 3 months, and it just
over and over again.
No, it just continues in that spiral of nothing changes until you say, to hell with it. I'm getting rid of this person. I never thought I'd see the day somebody would agree to, imagine how, it being easier. And this is what's disturbing to me. If I think about it, I've had the same number of chicks agree to marry me as the ones that have asked me out. That's how screwed up that is. That should tell you how, because if I asked chicks to marry me, I would understand getting rejected dozens of times because it's this serious lifelong commitment. But if I think about it, it was easier and came quicker to get one to agree to get married because of her religion barring dating than it did one to go on a date. That's crazy. There is some good woman out there. Seek them out. Well, they've been hiding real well. They must be in hibernation. They're like Aang. They're in the iceberg like this. No, they're like Captain America. They have their their shield right next to them, just laying up in the ice for 70 years. I hate when people say go to a different country and try ask women out. Yeah, because what's going to happen when you do that? Is she going to fall in love with you and come back to the U.S. with you? We know that it's just that how are you going to meet them if you don't have opportunities? Yeah, and I don't even know what that means, good women. I thought the ones I asked out were good. They still said no. Hell, I thought the one that asked me out was good. She worked at this, I don't want to say what it was, but, she seemed like a nice person, and then it was the same old BS. Remember, I'm not the one who's let's go ahead saying it. All the chicks I've spoken about getting frustrated with, I'm at least comfortable enough to go on a date with. So that's them that are acting stupid and want to like pretend that you're not good enough for somebody. Like I'm going to a different country. I'm going there to travel and stuff. Laugh my. They've been frozen in cryogenic pods and have been buried deep in the earth. Got to go dig them up. You know, when I was in, I kid you not, when I was in 11th grade, I actually told my mom that all the good, like all the chicks that are good or great or whatever, are either adults, like they've all aged up, or they're dead, because of how ridiculous it was even back then, to get someone to reciprocate. Man, that was the school year that made me just like stop talking to them. Like as far as like ruling out the idea that I could get a classmate to go there, because like I kid you not, 4 of those bastards showed interest and then backflipped.
Rejected.
Yes. I've actually never talked about some of those. I had one that agreed to go on a date with me over the weekend and then wouldn't answer her goddamn phone for those 2 days, acted like she was dead. Like, oh my God, it's a bitter memory. And it sucks too, because when I went to that school, I really thought, things might be different. Because before 11th grade, I didn't really approach that many chicks. Like it was maybe 1 or 2, 3 a year, some small number. But when I got to, 17, 18, 19, that's when we started rant. Because I was like, there's no way if you talk to like whatever number I thought, you're going to get rejected. And what ends up happening usually is they just stop responding. They don't log into their account anymore. They already have a boyfriend, or it's like there's so many different ways for it to go wrong and to never get to that beginning stage of going on a date. So it really sucks. But it's just a never ending, game of endurance. You keep doing it, and people, They want to tell you they just keep holding out hope. It's sad. More so, it's sad that people actually think you're supposed to just do this forever. That's really unfortunate, but hey, you must have been too forward with her, or you called her too many times. Yeah, they always make excuses like that.
Somebody made an excuse in the chat right now.
No, but he's mocking them. He's like making fun of the stuff they write.
Oh.
You probably called her too many times, even though I don't know how many times you called her, because I wasn't there. I'm just gonna write my fan fiction. And I'm like, well, hell, am I supposed to like not follow up on this person agreeing to do that? Just don't call them. That doesn't matter if she likes you. What doesn't matter? Theo says, if a woman asks, I'm suspicious.
What?
Hey, you better go record that video. You told me you were leaving. Don't think we forgot.
Literally read the chat again.
Yeah, like that's the weirdest thing to me, that there's a whole bunch of them I would call and there was no issue. And now people act like you called her, so that makes her less attractive. Like, what? You are sort of an introvert. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, thank you for telling me what my personality is. I watched your stream and I now have a window into your soul. What does that even mean? A big handicap in dating. So let me get this straight. Everybody gets rejected is an introvert like me, accordingly. I'd like some explanation on how this is the case. Why does somebody always do that? They always write something that it's like, what is this? Women can be introverts too. Poor excuse. No, Brandon, you got to understand, when you have the triangle, you can be whatever you want and it's okay. And you have to understand that, she had bad things happen to her. So she gets to, have whatever personality she wants, but you can't, tell her, you can't have your own personality. You have to be outgoing. And even though it's completely in line with someone who is outgoing to talk to 90 plus chicks, because only an outgoing person would do that.
Loud, low to loud.
Huh?
Your voice was loud, then it went low, then it went loud again.
Well, because it doesn't make any sense. If someone is truly introverted, as far as and to where it's a handicap for dating, then why the hell are they talking to 90 chicks?
Mm.
Don't introverts say to themselves, why am I talking to all these different people and going out? Told you, when you put this stuff up under scrutiny, just it doesn't stick. But people will make any reason they want for this being the way it is. They have a window into my soul, so he is able to find out his personality trait. I said, I've mentioned before that I don't really like to talk to that many people, just like privately. But if you're trying to get a date and you speak to like some number of chicks that you eventually can't even count anymore, I don't see how that's a factor. Hell, I know a lot of guys that because of all the male friends they have to fight over chicks. So I never, I just think it's really weird to be like, oh well, I know what your personality is, and this is a handicap, but how is it a handicap? What does it prevent? If it doesn't stop you from communicating with these broads as you would someone you like, I don't really see what this whatever. They'll say what they want to. All from watching the stream. Yep. Oh, they love doing that, analyzing people's personalities from a video. Because no one can ever have a public persona. I mean, if you watch a video of somebody, you might as well like just be living with them. Am I right? Oh my God. I knew I should have clocked in at an hour. But if we had ended this, what was it, 16 minutes ago, we wouldn't have had to read that ridiculous claim. And again, I just don't see how this kind of stuff really adds to the conversation. Like, if he gave examples, maybe I would say, okay, well, this is a point I haven't thought of, but it's more, your personality is this, so you suck, blah, 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 blah. And I'm 100% sure an introvert has been in a relationship before. No, that's never happened. Every time they give some like thing that you have that they say is the obstacle, there's never been someone with that before. Like all the men who have ever gotten a girlfriend or dated someone, they've all been over 6 feet. They've all never worn glasses. Like, I swear they will drive you insane with the overanalyzing. They have no debate. I told you, you could find any characteristic you think is bad, and somebody had it, and they still got with the broad. Like if I can name men who have murdered 10 people that got married to a woman who knew he murdered 10 people and didn't care, don't tell me about my personality being this big detriment that is my fatal flaw that stops me from finding one person to agree to go on a date. Again, like if you listen to these people, I'm worse than Hitler. Just like when they were sitting over there talking about you need to have money to get with a broad, but then you had that one thug, what's his name, Jeremy, sitting up in jail without $1 in his pocket, and he had all those broads salivating at the mouths over his picture. If you wear a shirt, that puts you in the bottom 10%, yeah. And then if you take your shirt off, all these people are going to do is talk trash about the way your body looks. like you see how you're screwed either way? If you wear a shirt, they'll talk trash about the shirt. If you don't wear one, look at his chest. Why doesn't he have muscles? If he had those, women would like him so much. So this is like a cartoon. We've got a status quo, recurring villains, plot twist, crossovers, because people keep bringing up this Kevin person over and over again. Yeah, they are on the download, James. I agree. I feel it might be a personality trait that you have that might be an issue, not a well. Again, I don't even know what that means. So let me get this straight. My personality is so unique, so historic, so never before seen that it has uniquely made me unable to get with a woman, whereas all these different kinds of men throughout history have been able to get with a broad. You're saying I'm so one of a kind, even though I'm actually not, because you go and look online, you got a whole bunch of other men affected by this, but that's that's besides the point. I'm so special uh, and groundbreaking as a person as to be this one specific type of man who is like not able to get with a broad. Because all the men who aren't able to get with a broad, they all have this like same unique, specific, historic personality trait. It can't be the chicks that just don't know what the hell they want, which is why they'll sit there and talk to somebody they don't like romantically or don't like what at all for what is it, weeks or months. I feel it might be a personality trait that you have that might be an issue, not appearance. I'm going into the history books because I have such a unique personality. That's what James wrote. So the overanalyzing, nothing will ever be accomplished with that crap. And again, my biggest issue with it is it doesn't address anything I'm saying. Like if he came on here and said, you know what, I think it was your fault because da 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 da. You might you did this and this was wrong. I would say, all right, well I don't agree with that, but at least it's responding to what I'm saying. You talk about specific instances of where it looked like a woman was going to go on a date and then she just like backflipped, cartwheel, didn't do what she said she would do, and then the response to that is, I think you have a personality that is so unique as to be never before seen. Yeah, I use Lyft. They're good service. I like Uber more, but they're all right. Yeah, James, you know how they are. Everybody wants you to become Superman for a broad that isn't even anywhere near that level. Here we go with the appearance analysis. Is there anything else you want to say? No, he got real quiet after that.
Yeah.
That guy that said that my personality was so unique, so unprecedented as to be responsible for this. Have you asked them why they ghosted you? Because that's the only way to start to understand why. Well, usually if they ghost you, they don't say anything. They block you or make it to where you can't speak to them. What does lifting weights have to do with getting? Oh, don't start that. Here we go again. If all of us just had these muscles, we would all get broads. Because there's never been men who don't lift weights that have been able to get with a woman. They're not going to tell you why. Just exactly, dude. These people really act like this is a video game. Like I can just, after this woman ignores me, I can go to her house and I can sit her down and I can say, hey, can you now give me the DLC content of why you did what you did? And she's gonna sit down, she's gonna lay in her chair like Woody Allen and talk about why she did what she did. She's like, I didn't feel as though we should go on it. They're not gonna do that. They're just going to block you or ignore you. Looks maxing does work. Yeah. Okay. Well, again, if you believe that, let's see you make a video where you debut your muscles in this woman that is with you now. And what the hell is looks maxing? Dude, if I guarantee you, if I did that workout crap, the first thing these people would do if they wanted to defend chicks would say, "You're ugly." They're always going to be able to write that because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I'm gonna spend months in the gym so I can get a woman. A random broad that never lifted anything herself, but you're supposed to do all this for her. Again, if it was an Olympic gymnast broad, maybe, but no. And again, if they believe this stuff works, let's see them do it and end up with these broads and make videos. Instead of, like, why is this the center for people giving advice that they can't even prove works? Because they don't do it themselves. Right, but if I should lift them for myself, why is it only ever brought up during a discussion about chicks? Like, it's literally, the point you're making is literally antithetical to itself. I don't know, because you as a man can't change your looks. Women definitely can with makeup and beauty products. I was just asking, however, I never even made a statement. Yeah, but it's part of the same thing of no one is talking about the way someone looks except for men about the appearance of another man. Let me see this. Eurodollar. Would be ironic if chicks were kryptonite and you tried so hard to be Superman. I mean, hell, that bra was kryptonite to that guy's wallet. You saw the way that she drained him of his cash twice. Several years removed from each other. Like, I really thought after he got, what was that, thousands of dollars lost from the storage unit thing, she would at least, not drain him anymore outside of that kit they have. But damn. I have a 6-pack and girls love touch. Let's see some proof. Post a video. I'll let you post the link. I won't delete it. We'll all go watch it. And let's see this woman that has appeared and manifested. It's not fair for one person to always show proof and everybody else gets to hide behind pictures of all kind of stuff. Yeah, post physique. I'd love to see it. I'll pin that video to the comment section. We'll all go watch it. I'm skinny, but it still counts. No, if you have this physique that is so amazing and has netted you a woman, let's see it in the video. Well, Brandon, the point I'm making with that is when you have men who will call you ugly, and then you have someone who will tell you to lift weights, you then are able to know for a fact that even if you did this physical improvement stuff, they're still just going to talk trash about your face. That's always going to be something they're not doing it because you came on here and said you're pretty. They're doing it because they don't want to criticize chicks and they want to make excuses for them. So you have to be this ugly, decrepit monster to make excuses for broads acting the way that they do. Of course he's not going to do it, James, because again, everybody runs their mouths, hides their face, running their mouth. This is them every time. Let me get my keyboard. Like an SNL skit. Look, I'm going to show you what 99% of the opposition to me is. Actually 100%, because there's never been a single man who has shown proof that he's done any of this physical regiment BS ever. Hide face, type nasty trash, be boastful, pretend you've actually accomplished anything as to say something nasty about me. And then when asked to show proof of the stuff you're talking about, dither and delay and try to change subject. If what's his name? If Tim or Alfonso shows proof that they were able to get with the woman after doing all their little exercise stuff, I will pin that video in the comment section. I thoroughly encourage it. I don't come on here with schemes of how to get somebody. Of course, Megumi, we know that. I never said I get women after getting weights. I just, why? like, my response to you speaking about something is to ask about, is to inquire about your physical regiment. For what purpose? How is this relevant? I'd love to see this proof. That'd be my favorite video of the year. To crush the opposition, yeah. Again, you don't see me coming on here telling you these little schemes because that's not what I do. It builds confidence when you look good, you feel good. Wait, I know you're not trying to accuse me of not having confidence. The people hiding their faces are surely not trying to accuse me of hiding confidence. Surely the irony would choke them out. It's real fun to like just that's hilarious. Because I recently found your video. You seem to be talking about women right now. I wanted to know your take on the weightlifting thing. I think it's a waste of time. If you want to do it just so you can, I guess, exercise, fine. But the idea that you're supposed to do something that extraneous just to maybe get a date with a random broad who's never exercised a day in their life, I think is insane. Again, if people want to do that, go right ahead. You won't see me in your comment section. You won't see me asking you a bunch of questions about how long it's. I don't care. That's what this has always been: men obsessed with another man's love life, while he is completely what's the way to say it? Uninterested in theirs. Yeah, I am interested in this proof. I'd love to see this. I'm waiting with bated breath. Confidence does change women playing games and doing BS. No, confidence lets you walk away from them and say, hey, screw this. Like that gold digger I was with for a week. If I had decided to stay with her because, oh, no woman will ever like me again, who knows how much coin she could have derived from me. But confidence made me say, hey, look, I deserve better than some bimbo who's going to pretend to be nice for a month just to be a transformer and reveal her true colors and start begging for coins every day. Yes, but how do people over the computer know what amount of confidence you have? It does help you with the what alpha. Okay, now you're speaking in nebulous terms. I have the fox mindset. What does that mean? Mentally tough. What's mentally tough about a bunch of men getting so triggered by the love life of another man as to write whole paragraphs about it? Just be confident for your own self-esteem, right? But if it was for my own self-esteem, I wouldn't have it on videos about getting with a woman. Yeah, those Decepticons. I mean, hell, he might be a sleeper agent the way he's talking. They do a little. Oh man, I'd love to see this proof. At least one of them admitted he doesn't do it. I don't know what these chicks do for anybody. Like again, every time I see someone paying for the other person, it's the man paying for the broad. If you want to get banged or go on a date, you can pay a hooker to do it. You don't need to talk to some broad and lift weights for 3 months. I don't get what they do that requires all of this effort. By that I mean when a woman does you wrong, you call her out. I do. That's why did you not see this is again part of the problem we have here where people they like to not do any research. You know, they want to get away with not actually seeing things. So in the last edited romance video I did, the women approached me and then backpedals or it was backflips, whichever term it was. I showed where she, started doing her backpedaling, and then I called her out for it, said, "Hey, this is not okay," and then got blocked, and then called her from a blocked number to continue addressing this. Well, it wasn't hostile because I wasn't calling her out of her name. I wasn't cursing at her. She was and again, it's text, so you can't even tell what the person's tone is anyway, unless they put it in caps, and I guess that's congruent to screaming. But my point is, I have shown with proof I've been able to do that. Muscles not included. Yeah, I'm still eagerly waiting to see this proof. Stop keeping us all in suspense. If he makes that video and post it in my comment section, I will pin it. This man's gonna show us his muscles. Starting to turn into a Dragon Ball episode. You're not dealing with the average man anymore. Oh my God. You getting tired?
Mm-mm. That's getting louder.
Yeah, I'll close it again if it's too loud. I mean, hey, the only reason my impression is so good is because of just these people are all the same. They all write the same like nebulous stuff that only like they're talking in riddles. Alpha mindset. It's just a six pack from Cal and Sticks. I don't do lift. I don't do weights. Well, let's see it.
Hmm?
No, he's saying that he just has a six pack from calisthenics. Let's see it. Let's just see this video.
Fake picture or fake video.
No, anybody can go grab a picture off Google Images. I want to see a video. Probably gonna go Super Saiyan on all us, on us all to show us all up.
I would actually try to look at the screen, but they might see my face.
Yeah, don't look. I just want to see this amazing physique that is like netting him all these chicks, and I hope he shows proof that this has gotten him some broads. Once he steps out of the shadows and reveals to us this impressive form of his. Yeah, the 60s show.
Why is it blue?
Because it's a different hue. He does. Oh yeah, that other person that wrote that. And like I said, that guy's picture. Well, he actually did show his face, but it was like a top shot of his head. Now you would think if you have these muscles that are so impressive and amazing, you would want all of us to see them, right? You wouldn't be hiding it with the photo that cuts out the rest of your body. Oh, it's definitely putting women on the pedestal. Jesus Christ.
You're just gonna wait here until he shows the video?
No, I'm about to end this because I'm not gonna sit up here all day for this. I don't have big muscles, but I am very toned. Then prove it. I could say right now, I have an 8-pack. If I wasn't on camera and like just was writing in someone's comment section. I'm tired of being the only one that has to show proof. I'm supposed to believe all these people when they write these fantasies and fables in my comment section about how successful they are with broads, as they show nothing to corroborate their claims. Have you ever had someone try to suggest you only think what you think because you've been hurt? Well, I actively admit that's the case, but like, what way would I act if I wasn't? That's like saying that I don't know, someone that got abused acts the way they do because they've been abused. Well, yeah, of course, but why is that a problem? They act the way they are based off of experiences. Just like some broad that's been accepted by men over and over and over again is not going to make a video about how hard it is to get a boyfriend because she's always been able to get one. You should really try meditation. It's great for your mind and ego. It's like those cardboard cutouts of beach bros where you can put your head through it at the carnival. Attempting to discredit what you're saying if they can't challenge it directly. But that's what they do. All these. That's why. And look, maybe I snapped a little too much at you for the like lift weight comments. But my perspective is this: I don't have a problem with someone disagreeing, but these disagreements are not rebuttals to things I'm saying. It's this weird, overzealous commentary on all kind of stuff that shouldn't matter. You shouldn't have men who ironically will accuse you of being gay spending this much time talking about your appearance because it doesn't address a single goddamn thing you said. And it just makes me look more right when I come on here and say, look, I can expect that when I make a bunch of points, none of them will be, addressed by the people who supposedly don't agree with them. Having a good body makes you sexier, like having a sports car or being funny. Yeah, I'm definitely not funny. No one's ever been entertained by any of my streams. That doesn't occur. I don't have any screenshots of broad saying LOL on any of my videos where I show proof. Yeah, me having a sports car is definitely going to make a woman like me for me. It's not going to prove she's a gold digging piece of garbage. Imagine what I would look like again if let's flip the genders. Oh, you have a sports car? Wow, we should like totally go on a date. And I'm like not interested in you just because you have this, even though I never showed the interest in you before you had the sports car. Having a good. He acts like he's seen my X-ray. It's so creepy. I've been looking at your body, boy. I'm like, what's wrong with you? That's why I said this is a cartoon. Hey, we might have a world without heroes. We don't have a world without clowns. That's for sure after this stream. I think by this point, he is literally in a cartoon. Look, if he wants to show proof of these like amazing muscles and the woman that they've netted him, I will pin it and we can all look at it. But if it's just going to be him running his mouth, we don't need to sit here for 3 hours. I'm good. So thanks for showing up, Megumi, Dio, James, Music Fiend, I guess, even though you've been promoting this other person. You turned into a billboard for another channel. Brandon, Eurodollar. So we're going to wrap this up. I'm not going to sit here and play this game all day because I have things to do. Unlike some people, I don't sit around and only wonder about chicks all day long. Bye.